Good morning, welcome back. It's Friday Coffee Talks episode 86. I'm your host, Connor Volpe, and we're talking over coffee, and it's Friday morning. It's Apple Crisp Macchiato season at Starbucks again. For those of you who have been around for a while, you know this is my favorite. It's the best drink they make it at Starbucks, bar none. Oh man, this year they changed it up a little bit. The like base version has oat milk. Normally I like oat milk. I talked about it last week with Adam. Oat milk is good. In this though, I don't prefer it. I know why they did it. The apple and the oat kind of gives you that like pie flavor. Um, for me, with the espresso though, it just doesn't quite work. So, pro tip: go with the regular 2% or whatever kind of milk. Apple crisp macchiato, fantastic. It is Braves season, so for those of you who are not Braves baseball fans, I'm going to make sure I put chapters in this episode so you can skip ahead on YouTube to the good stuff. But it is playoff baseball season. The Braves are 1-1 with the Phillies. We've got another game tonight. We're in Philadelphia, and I am just so amped up. You guys know I'm a huge Braves fan, massive Braves fan, and it's been a miraculous run last year, and then to end this season, it's been so good. So it's been wild. Game one was a little, would have liked it to end differently, but I got to watch game two on the plane home this week. I've been traveling, and I swear the lady sitting next to me thought I was insane because I was fist pumping and cheering in my seat, and I was everything that you did not want to sit next to in a small tiny plane as you flew 4 hours across the country. So, but gosh, what a great game! Wright pitched an absolute gem. Wheeler, I didn't think we were going to get to him for the longest time. I was texting my friend Oliver throughout the whole game going, we got to get him here. We got to get him here. And he pitched wonderfully up until the seventh inning. And the Braves put three on him and took the W. So, golly, that was a fun one to watch. I'm hoping that either Strider or Morton tonight can go and pick up game two and just keep that momentum moving. But gosh, playoff baseball. The fall is here, and I am for it. I'm so for it. So, yeah, so I mentioned I was traveling this week. I was out in Denver, had a wonderful trip to Denver. Just one of the best. I love going out west. One of my favorite things about traveling out west is that I get to pretend to be a morning person. I swear I'm a morning person in a night owl's body, which is a very weird combination, but I really value my time of doing the things that I want to do and making the decisions that I want to make. And so I tend to stay up real late at night and, watch TV and just kind of catch up on time that I get to choose what I'm doing. And then with that comes, I don't wake up super early. I wake up when the kids wake up, but I'm not one of those. I've tried a couple times to, wake up at 5 o'clock and get a workout in and read and journal and, all that kind of stuff. And all that is great. I wish I could, but I just can't bring myself to do it. But when I go out west, like this week when I was in Denver, I wake up at my normal time, and that's 5 o'clock out west. And so I get to act like the morning person that I've always wanted to be. So in this case, before meetings and things started, got up, went and got a great breakfast, went and hiked the Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs, which was just amazing. Got some work done, answered some emails, and then I was ready to start my day. Got all showered and ready and started going to meetings and things. So those are the best. I just love those kind of mornings, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So traveling's a tough gig. There's a lot of people, and myself included, when I first started in sales and started traveling regularly for work, it was awesome. I was so excited for it, as I should be. I mean, traveling is great. It's been some really good experiences and going to see new things and experience new things and meet new people and all that kind of stuff. And that's awesome. Um, a lot of people that I talk to that don't travel for work, I kind of get that and even my wife sometimes, she always jokes about like, have fun on your vacation. And it's not always like that. There are some things that I get to go do as part of my job that are really fun, and they're awesome perks. But I would say by and large, especially as I've gotten older and time has gone on, traveling it's a grind. It's a slog. Being away from home that much, being on airplanes. For me lately, being in hotels, I find myself weirdly since COVID, I have trouble sleeping in hotels, so I don't get good sleep on the road. running and trying to figure out rental cars and how to get from place to place, being out of my norm, missing my family and kids. It's a tough thing to do, and so I've found throughout the my time that there are certain things that I can do when I'm on the road that make traveling worth it for me. So I'm gonna go through a few of those today. Um, the biggest one doesn't relate to like activities or anything, but the biggest one, and I used to be significantly bigger on it back in the day, was collecting status and points with credit cards and airlines and hotels. So, as anybody that I've ever worked with can tell you, I'm crazy about my status and my points. I'm gonna go out of my way to do things to make myself get toward the next levels and all that kind of stuff. It's tailed off since COVID because it's been, I haven't been traveling as much. So I just know I'm not going to get to the upper elite levels of status and all that kind of stuff. So I've kind of resigned myself to that fact of I'll be middle of the road and get less upgrades and things like that. But Jen will definitely tell you that when we're out as a team and somebody's going to pick up the bill, me and her have gone at it to see who's going to throw that credit card down and get those points. So that's one of the ways that I make traveling worth it is I earn status for myself. And then when I'm traveling with my family for vacation, for personal stuff, I get to use the perks of those for me and my family. And I get to use those points for things like taking our own vacations or, whatever else we want to do with those credit card points or those airline miles. So making taking advantage of the things that are out there, the programs that are available. Now I know that some companies use a corporate card and they use those points for the business, and that's fine. Like if that's not something that you are able to do, then it's kind of a bummer. But if you are able, getting a good points credit card that can earn you those rewards towards things that you want. And bumping up those status levels so you get those little perks while you're traveling that you can use for yourself. Definitely makes it worth it. The other one is I'm a Ron Swanson type of guy.
I'm a simple man. I like pretty dark haired women and breakfast food.
In my case, it's a pretty dark haired woman, but I love breakfast food. So, one of the things that I always do when I'm on the road, no matter if I'm in the middle of nowhere in Mississippi or in a big city like Chicago or New York or Denver, I'm finding the local breakfast spots. And some of my favorite travel memories over my long time of being on the road actually involve great breakfast food. I'm a guy that doesn't miss a meal, and of them, my favorite by far is breakfast. If I ever end up on death row, which, knock on all the wood, I don't plan to, but if I ever have to pick a last meal, one component of it will definitely be Waffle House All Star Special, scattered, smothered, covered, and peppered with white toast and a chocolate chip waffle. Uh, Man, that's it. Breakfast food is the best to me. So when I'm on the road, I'm always looking for local restaurants, places I can't get at home, and I always want to try a good breakfast place. This week I happened to get an awesome breakfast burrito, a good omelet, good scramble, good hash, good pancakes, whatever the case is. I'm looking for that local hole in the wall breakfast joint that is just going to serve some greasy eggs and a nice cup of coffee. That's what I'm about. So exploring the town I'm in, finding that best breakfast spot is the best. Um, the other thing, in the past when I was a little more svelte and athletic, I was big into CrossFit. I did CrossFit competitively. And so one of my other hobbies that I really liked to do when I was on the road was drop in and do workouts at local CrossFit gyms. I found that to be such a cool way to experience new cities. Um, you know, Meeting new people that were there, kind of working toward a common goal. I got to experience some gyms that were like really, really cool, really state of the art, really advanced, and do things there that I didn't have access to at home. And then I got to also visit some of the like more famous CrossFit gyms where some big name athletes work out, and got to meet some of those folks. Really cool places like the CrossFit Southie in the Southie district of Boston was, I think, one of my favorites. Rough and tumble place in not, what is not known as the nicest part of Boston, but um, actually went to a diner across the street from there after and got some great eggs. But, doing things like that, going out and enjoying maybe hobbies that you do at home that you want to experience in new ways. One of my others, kind of dovetail with that is to go and exercise in new places. So, this week, what I happened to do was went and got the breakfast burrito that I've talked about, and went and hiked the Garden of the Gods. So I got a nice 4 mile hike in. It was about an hour and a half of hiking early in the morning, before it got too hot, before it got too busy with tourists around like myself. One of my favorite, all time favorites, anytime I'm in San Francisco, I have to do this. I get up very early before the sun comes up and I drive out and I run the Golden Gate Bridge at sunrise. And goodness, what a fun. I mean, even now where I'm struggling to run across the bridge and back, it's amazing to watch the sunrise come up over Alcatraz Island and to look out over the water. It's just beautiful. So, getting out in the crisp morning air, go and take a run down and back across the bridge. And then again, it just so happens that my favorite breakfast place in the world, Mama's on Washington Square in San Francisco, is just right down the road. So I'll always head over there and get a good breakfast afterwards. The other things lately that I've gotten into is collecting coffee from wherever I'm going. So being a coffee guy, whole bean coffee is one of those things that is incredibly variable from place to place, and depending on where it's grown and how the climate is and all that kind of stuff. So getting to experience new coffee places is always fun, and I'll typically come home with a pound or bag or whatever of whole bean coffee that I can throw in the machine and get to enjoy. I did bring home one this week from Denver, but I don't know how good it's going to be. I mean, the whole thing with coffee is keeping it fresh, right? You want to keep it airtight. You want to keep it away from air that's going to make it go stale. She put the girl behind the counter made a bag of beans and then just stapled it shut at the top. And it's not even close. I can stick my finger and touch the beans. I'm like, this isn't what? So I haven't been able to put them in the machine yet, but I don't anticipate that they're going to be that good. But we'll see. We'll see. But that's been a fun thing to collect coffee beans from, wherever I'm going, and to do that. So that would be my encouragement for you today. If you're finding traveling to be, tough or exhausting or draining, find little ways to do things that you can make it worth it for you. Find what's important to you and do those along with the work schedule. Obviously, the work and the meetings and all are the priority when you're on the road, but being able to do those little personal touches to make it worth it for you, it really changes the game. So, when you're sitting in the airport with your ninth delay and all that kind of stuff, if you know that there's some of those things along the way that you can either look forward to or you've accomplished while you've been there, those are big. They're game changers. So have fun on the road for my road warriors. Hope all the upgrades work out for you. You can sit in the front of the plane. I hope that you get all the statuses and all the leg room and all the upgrades and all that you can possibly get. So I appreciate it. Thank you for joining me. This has been Friday Coffee Talks, and I'm Connor Volpe. We'll catch you next week.